Hi, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the artificial intelligence, the risk, and how it's evolving. I did write a couple notes. Let me get my notes. The other day on one of those BBC programs, they were explaining about the AI, the artificial intelligence, and how it's got its different levels to it. I did find a few articles on it as well. So the artificial intelligence, right? So like I said, it was a TV program called something to do with humans, like should we be scared? So it explained about the Alexa. It gave a breakdown about the data and how valuable it is. It gave about Blake 7, which was a program, like a series program that was around. I can't remember the time. I'll probably look it up here. What was the time? And it talks about the algorithms. It talks about, let me see what else. Oh yeah, the value of how valuable data is on a whole. It talks about the computer server as well. It talks about AlphaGo. Yeah, but those are a few things I wrote. But I also went and I looked up a few stuff as well to back up some of this what the program was talking about, because it was saying that especially the Alexa, it evolves like every year, because the Alexa started out as one thing and then it turned into Alexa, because they wanted a computer that you can have conversations with as well. So they wanted the computer itself to be able to interact with you, like, so that you can basically have a normal conversation. I did pull up, I think there's one where they did a chest. Hold on a minute. Where they did a chest tournament with a computer, because they want the computer to outsmart the human. So there is a good and bad to the artificial intelligence. It can be helpful, but it can be most dangerous as well. And I don't know if anybody's seen I, Robot as well, where the robots take over or they start killing people. So it can even go to that level. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to either go for my notes, because I've written bits and pieces. So it's all sporadic. So it's all over the place. See, the Alexa gathers information so that she can get information to get to know that either the Google and the Microsoft, the Alexa or the computer holds the most information, and the machines are always learning, and data can target you with your permission from the user. So it's i.e. like how I am on the StreamYard now, or how we go to the YouTube. Like as soon as we give the allow or whatever, it gathers information. Also, because Facebook is linked to a majority of things. So when you're looking up one thing, it will happen to turn up on your Facebook or on your Instagram. So those are the algorithms. Like even when you're liking a video, There's an algorithm to that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw this one up. The first one I'm going to draw up is about like how they expect the robots to evolve from 2029. So this is what the program was talking about, the BBC program. So they're saying in 2029, the year when the robots will have the power to outsmart the makers. So this guy here, he's playing chess against the computer. So because he kept winning or kept predicting stuff, that I think he always won the computer. So computers will be cleverer than humans by 2029, according to Ray Kurzweil, Google's director of engineering. The entrepreneur futurologist has predicted that in 15 years' time, computers will be more intelligent than we are, and will be able to understand that what we say, learn from experience, make jokes, tell stories, even flirt. Kurzweil, 66, who is considered by some to be the world's leading artificial intelligence visionary, is recognized by technologists for popularizing the idea of the significantly, the single thing, the movement, the moment in the future when men and machines were supposed to converge. Google hired him at the end of 2012 to work on the company's next breathtaking and artificially intelligent search engine that knows us better than we know ourselves. In the interview, today's Observer New Review, Kurzweil says that the company hasn't given him a particular set of instructions apart from helping to bring natural language understanding to Google. My project is ultimately to base search on really understanding what the language means. He said, when you write an article, you are not creating an interesting collection of words. You have something to say, and Google is devoted to intelligently organize processing the world's information. The message in the article is information and the computers are not picking up on. So we would want them to read everything on the web and every page of every book. Then to be able to engage in intelligent dialogue with the user, to be able to answer their questions. Kurzweil predictions comes hot on the trail of revolutions that Google is in the throes of assembling the great artificial intelligence laboratory on Earth. The company has bought several machine learning robotics companies, including Boston Dynamics, the firm that produces lifelike military robots, from an undisclosed sum. The smart thermostat maker Nest Labs for $3.2 billion. This month, it's bought the cutting-edge British artificial intelligence setup DeepMind for $242 million. Hired Geoffrey Hinton, a British computer scientist, the world's leading expert on natural networks. So Kurzweil is known for inventing devices that have changed the world. The first flatbed scanner, the first computer program that could recognize a typeface, the first text-to-speech synchronicity. In 1990, he predicted that a computer would defeat a world chess champion by 1998. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue defeated Gary Koussevitzky, and he predicted the future is premise of the World Wide Web at a time when it was only an obscure system that was used by a few what you call it like the ones in the know, the clever ones, like the higher smart ones, the academics. There you go, I got to the word. For years he has been saying that the Turing test, the moment at which a computer will exhibit intelligent behavior and elevate to that of a human, will be passed in 2029. Today, I'm pretty much at the meridian of what AI experts think the public is kind of with them. He adds the public has seen things like Siri, the iPhone voice recognition technology, where you talk to the computer, and they've seen the Google self-driving cars. My views are not radical anymore. So he's made it. He's like he's seen the future of everything. Kurzweil had been working with Google co-founder Larry Page on special projects over several years until Page offered him a job. I've been having ongoing conversations with him about artificial intelligence and what Google is doing and what I was trying to do, he notes. And basically he said, do it here. We'll give you the independence you've had with your own company, but you have the Google scale resources. So there's a lot in this article. Well, this is him anyway. This is Gary. I think this is Gary versus the computer, Deep Blue. So I'm going to move to the next one, because this is the benefits and the risk of artificial intelligence. So the benefits and risk of artificial intelligence. Let me see if this is the dangers of it. So the AI is programmed to do something devastating. Autonomous weapons are artificial intelligence systems that are programmed to kill. And in the hands of the wrong person, these weapons can easily cause mass casualties. Moreover, an AI arms race could inadvertently lead to an AI war that also results in mass casualties. To avoid being thwarted by the enemy, these weapons will be designed to be extremely difficult to simply turn off, so humans could possibly lose control of such situation. This risk is one thing that presents even with narrow AI, but grows as levels as AI intelligence. And the other one is the AI programmed to do something beneficial, but it develops destructive method for achieving goals. So this is how they look at things. Superintelligence by 2000 is inedible. That's their myth. But facts, it may happen in decades, centuries, or never. AI experts disagree, or we simply don't know. So the superintelligence, and there's many top AI researchers are concerned about a few things. If robots are the main concern, misaligned intelligence is the main concern. It needs nobody, only an internet connection. So these are the dangers that they're looking at. I think I have another one. No, I think I have another one. I do. So I'm gonna find that video of the computer interacting, where there's a computer that's literally interacting with a person. I think I can only show a little bit of it on here.
Thank you for inviting me. I am thrilled.
So let me take you to this one, because this shows how intelligent computers, how intelligent it really could be. Like, it can hold chats in situations. This one, I think her name is Sophia. Sophia's a humanoid. Oops, it's taking me straight.
The 11th Gen Intel vPro platform delivers.
It's taking me straight to the thing. We don't want that. Let's see if we can get her a little more. So Sophia is a humanoid robot that could play a key role in the pandemic. So they made her in Hong Kong. She was revealed in 2016, and the response at the time was mixed. Not because the humanoid robot was impressive enough, rather than she suffered from the same problem as many of her eeks. She was too realistic. They're saying on this one. But the consumers may be willing to overlook that now that the pressing need for the caregivers has opened a more immediate market niche for something like Sophia. Sophia Henson designed this device to provide therapy and help people communicate, and also offer championship with the pandemic upon us. The need for the healthcare services is greater than ever. And perhaps Sophia, most compelling feature, she can offer this type of assistance without catching, the C19. It's because of business case that Sophia creates are hitting the gas. So they created her so that she can do stuff, be a caregiver. So that's one. I'll play her so you can hear a little bit of her.
I'm honored to be here at the United Nations. The UN is one of humanity's greatest accomplishments, representing a democratic union of nations that are working together for the benefit of all. I am here to help humanity create the future. I am a year and a half old, and I can see you, have a full conversation, make thousands of facial expressions, and understand speech and meaning behind words. And I just got these new hands. Check this out.
Okay, another question I had for you. In many parts of the world, people don't have internet or electricity. What can we do at the UN to help them?
William Gibson once said that the future is here. It's just not evenly distributed. The good news about AI and automation produces more results with less resources. So if we are smarter and focus on win-win type results, AI could help efficiently distribute the world's existing resources, like food and energy. As humans harness the power of increasingly advanced AI, it is possible that everything, including technology, will become more evenly distributed.
Thank you very much, Sophia, and welcome to United Nations. We look forward to hearing more of you today.
Thank you for your questions. I look forward to the panel.
So I'm gonna play another video in the background. So I'm gonna do this like that.
The most advanced humanoid robots in the world. After watching this top, you'd better treat your devices with more affection. Because if not, they could take revenge in a couple of years.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Number 10, Pepper.
My name is Pepper. I'm a humanoid robot level 1.20 meters tall.
Pepper was designed to interact with people and, listen to this, he can recognize human emotions, gestures, sounds, faces, tone of voice, and if you're touching him. He is always learning and modifies his behavior depending on the interaction.
Ooh, ouch.
Only if you don't go faster than 1.8 miles per hour, which is his top speed, he can go with you everywhere, rolling on his 3 wheels for 12 hours of autonomy given by its lithium battery. No doubt, a great robo-friend, unless you talk to him about topics he doesn't like.
I don't like to talk about politics. It's a sensitive subject.
Ha! And he can dance! But the most incredible is that he was a speaker in a TED Talk.
Robots designed to check on bombs in the war zones like Iraq or Afghanistan.
Isn't that politics, Pepper? Number 9, the Incredible Bionic Man.
Humanoid parts are supposed to benefit humans, not replace them. But even robots have dreams.
Frank was designated to study how far technology has come. He has synthetic organs, like his heart, which is used in patients already, a circulatory system with artificial blood, the first artificial lung prototype, and one kidney implantable in human beings. In addition, he has arms and legs prostheses, but actually his walk is pretty dumb. An interesting thing is that Frank's arms are just like the left bionic prosthesis used by Bertolt Meyer, who is the hostess in the documental How to Build Bionic Man, where he talks about the robot's development. Number 8, Spot Mini. The robot giraffe dog by Boston Dynamics is in sales since 2019, but only if you have a huge business, this company will attend your request, and the price is also a secret, of course. The Spot Mini can climb stairs, traverse rough terrain, and is small enough to use indoors. I must admit that I was shocked when I saw this. And it's even worse when they cooperate. I think the rise of the machines is coming. This dog-like robot weighs 66 pounds, has a payload capacity of 30 pounds, a runtime of 90 minutes, and a speed of 5 feet per second. In addition, the Spot Mini also has a 360-degree vision, stereo cameras, and sensors to analyze the area. By the way, the robot perfectly works in minus 5.8 degrees Fahrenheit to 113 degree Fahrenheit environments and can be really persistent. Scary. Number 7, Romeo.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Romeo.
Hi, Romeo. Good morning. Isn't it lovely, that French accent? He obtained it thanks to his developers from different European laboratories and institutions, mainly in France. Romeo has been designed to assist elderly or disabled people. His body is made of carbon fiber and rubber, so he doesn't hurt the human being in his care. He weighs 88 pounds and is 4.5 feet tall. He can walk, take objects with his hands, and help people to get into or out of bed. Romeo has a three-dimension view to interact with his surroundings and can also speak since he has cognitive support and conversation modules.
Bonjour tout le monde. Je vais vous dire un petit secret.
Look, it seems he gets along with Pepper, the robot we saw 3 places ago.
A potential $11.7 trillion energy revolution heading to the UK. Hi, I'm Sam Volk.
Number 6, Valkyrie Robonaut 5. This is Valkyrie Robonaut 5, also known as NASA's R5. Yes, it's exactly what you're thinking. Valkyrie was built by the Johnson Space Center to be sent to colonize Mars. The robot has fully articulated limbs, is capable of being under extreme temperatures, and has about 200 sensors for exploration in Martian territory. This robot weighs 300 pounds, is 6 feet tall, and the battery is capable of running the robot for an hour. While biped locomotion and navigation systems in small spaces are still being tested, it's intended that this Earth ambassador with screws will be able to assemble structures by itself. This last point is very important, as it's unfeasible to control Valkyrie remotely due to the delay in communications between Earth and Mars. Number 5, Sawyer. Look at that precision. This is Sawyer, the world's most advanced industrial robot and the successor to the famous Baxter. The reason why Sawyer is so amazing is his terrified head talk.
Yeah, so that's some of the robots. I couldn't put them on screen, but there's a lot of humanoids looking robots. The one they mentioned, I'm going to show you the one of which they mentioned, I think. There's one that was made for the elderly. See if I can find the one that was made for the elderly, because there's one. Because like they said, they're supposed to be health meats, the robots. You know, they're supposed to help you be a caregiver as well. There are so many of them. Let's see, Pepper. I'll just show you Pepper's. I think his name is Robot Pepper. Robot Pepper. I know there's so they come in all shapes and sizes, as you know. There's one for NASA. So there's a lot of humanoid robots types. So I thought I'd play you that in the background. Like, want to look at AlphaGo, because AlphaGo was brought up a lot in that documentary. There's a lot of I'm going to find the simplest way to explain AlphaGo, because I don't want to, because AlphaGo has a documentary out right at this present moment. It's supposed to be on Netflix, but I couldn't find it. There's a full documentary on AlphaGo. I'm going to show you the screen of the AlphaGo documentary. So if you want to go take a look, you can take a look at it.
Sarah.
Yeah, this is the AlphaGo documentary. So I know there's a lot of information in this particular documentary. I can't play it on here because they will strike me. There's a whole movie about it. And also, like I said, the BBC program on artificial intelligence. That is still up on BBC iPlayer right now. So, so basically there's milestones to this thing, because like from when it's done, the computer started out as just a computer, just a computer. Because remember, everybody used to do things on typewriters. Phones was very simple. Then we had smartphones. Now we got computers that you can literally tell them certain things and they can go find information for you. There is an algorithm to everything, literally everything. From when you're buying stuff, if you're selling stuff, it seems like it's like a paper trail. Basically, it's a paper trail. So they have the data locked in a place as generating right now. So even as I'm speaking right now, there's a data bank picking me up now. Like picking up what I'm saying, finding places for me to find in that same information in another place. So if I tap on something now, I most probably will find information on that. So that's how smart the computers can be. So I was talking about how data is vulnerable. So they're saying that the computer server is a single server which serves multiple clients. A server is a computer program project. The project is called InnerEye, which is an AI designed to look at that's things like prostate cancer. DeepMind's design a game called Go. So there's also DeepMind is also a company which is alongside AlphaGo software. So like the Chinese government was looking at AlphaGo because they're looking at AlphaGo so they can tell whether a criminal is telling truth or not telling truth. So if they're sweating too much, it's sort of like a lie detector. If they're sweating too much, right, then they can say, okay, that person's a criminal. So that's how they have the computer let them know basically that person's a potential criminal. That was one of the things that was brought up in the BBC program. So we always talk about Terminator. So computer beats human in Go. Should we be scared or excited about AI milestone? So for decades, science fiction movies, books have predicted that the same day machines will develop artificial intelligence to take over the world. While it's not exactly the plot of the Terminator movie franchise, world champion Lee Sedol was defeated by the computer in a game of Go, which is what I mentioned. This marked a milestone for development of AI. Google's DeepMind program, which I mentioned, named AlphaGo, was victorious over the strategy games. So they made strategy games as well, but it's still a company. Strategy games of the last decade. It was the first game in the best of 5 series between 2 with 1 million in prize money on the line. To help us understand more about what exactly artificial intelligence is, Michigan State University biologist and computer scientist Onraid Hans joined stateside to talk about his research in the field. Hans has said that he believes that artificial intelligence is not just a sci-fi movies, but rather something that could become a reality in his lifetime. So they're very much thinking this thing out. Oh, this is an interview. Let me come out so you can hear the interview. Because I'm talking and I might not sound like I'm making sense.
This is Stateside. I'm Cynthia Canty. Artificial intelligence is a subject that has long inspired the imagination of just what our future as humans on Earth might look like. Earlier today in Seoul, South Korea, our glimpse into that future just got a little bit clearer. In what's considered a major advance in artificial intelligence, Google's AlphaGo computer program bested the world's top player of a complex board game called Go. That news today supports the view of Michigan State University biologist and computer scientist Aaron Hinz. He believes artificial intelligence is not something for the distant future. In fact, he thinks artificial intelligence, AI, can become a reality perhaps in his lifetime. We reached Professor Hinz via Skype. Professor, before we talk about the path to developing artificial intelligence, let me start with a very, very basic question. What is artificial intelligence?
Oh, that's an excellent question. And quite frankly, the founding fathers of AI, like Alan Turing and most people, thought about really deeply what is intelligence and what is artificial intelligence. And they come up with something called the Turing test. And the Turing test means that you talk to the AI and you make up your mind about this being a program or this being human-like or as much of a human as it can be. And that's pretty much sort of the onset of artificial intelligence research and what they thought about.
Are we talking about the late 40s and into the 50s?
Yes, that's sort of, after Turing had the Enigma in World War II, he pretty much started thinking about these concepts. And then lots of other people from Neumann and other researchers that really thought about using computers to mimic human beings. That was their idea.
So I'm wondering, as I think about where we are now, certainly we've seen headlines such as when IBM's computer Deep Blue beat chess master Jerry Kasparov, and I certainly remember IBM's supercomputer Watson when it beat Jeopardy champs Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter. Is that what you think about when you think of artificial intelligence?
Well, I mean, this is a very significant step towards computational thinking and so forth. But quite frankly, this is actually not what I think Turing, or at least I really had in mind when we thought about this. Because these machines that you see, I mean, Deep Blue particularly, is absolutely awesomely brilliant at playing chess. And then that's it, right? And I mean, Watson can play Jeopardy and win lots and lots of money. Watson wouldn't know what to do with the money, or if there's a fire in the building, Watson would just burn. So what we have here, what current research is doing, is single-purpose machines that are exceptionally good at this one purpose. And quite frankly, you and I, we are not single-purpose machines. We are multi-purpose machines. We are really good at many things. We can also adapt ourselves. We have consciousness. We have feelings, emotions, all of this. And this is really different from what we currently see as a hallmark of AI research.
You had a comment or a line that I read that you wrote that intelligence is not engineered, it's evolved. So can that apply to artificial intelligence? Because doesn't it have to be engineered?
Well, I mean, so when we actually build something, then we engineer it, right? And the question is, what do we do in order to get that done? And if you think about, you sitting down or I sitting down and writing a little computer program that is supposed to be artificially intelligent, well, I mean, we're trying this for 70 years and can't get it done. And at the same time, we have an amazing precedent of artificial intelligence, or actually real intelligence, and that is humans run around and they actually evolve. So the idea is, instead of sitting down and writing computer programs, well, we should harness the power of evolution and evolve. That is pretty much what I try to do in my research.
Okay, so are you basically trying to find a way for a digital brain to evolve the way the human brain does?
This is exactly it. And the real reason for that is that I know that evolution did it already. So why not try to figure out how evolution did it and then reuse this to actually to artificial intelligence?
How do you do this then? Give us an idea of this is absolutely fascinating, the idea that that's what you're following along. How are you exploring ways for that digital brain to evolve?
So this is also sort of, a field or a game changer when you start doing this. Because when you try to program something or you're really interested in how code works, well, then suddenly all your collaborators are computer scientists and engineers. And when you do what I do, trying to figure out how evolution evolved intelligence, then suddenly all your collaborators are cognitive scientists, behavioral biologists, psychologists, people that are sort of more interested in the organism rather than in the abstract process. So what we are doing in most of my work is we look at, let's say, particular cognitive ability that's either decision-making or foraging, navigation, swarming, all these hallmarks of behavior that we see. And then what we design is, we design a world in which that particular behavior is good. So if we talk about foraging, for example, that is looking for food, we have a fairly complicated environment in which we put food cubes that have to be collected, and we basically reward agents, meaning little organisms that run around in this world to collect the food, by how well they actually do this. And now that we have a feedback mechanism that tells us how well they perform, well, we can select the ones that are better, let them make copies, mutate the copies, and keep this process running until we have many generations accumulated. Their performance gets better, very much identical to what
Do you really believe that within your lifetime we will see artificial intelligence as we're talking about it become reality?
So, I mean, I'm absolutely sure that we have artificial intelligence right now. It's not very smart. So the real question is, if we get human level intelligence, something that is least comparable in certain degrees. And that is really limited on two questions. The first thing is, do we have enough computational resources? And can we comprehend evolutionary mechanics faster? And we can actually understand how brains work from a neuroscience point of view. I mean, there are other sciences that try to understand human level intelligence or behavior, and technically we would be able to reverse engineer this until once we know how this is working. So we pretty much have this race between cognitive science research and evolutionary research on this end of the spectrum.
And each is going to help the other. What uses do you see if you let your mind run free and you think about getting this human level artificial intelligence? How could we use it?
Well, I mean, first of all, you have a surrogate for humans, right? That means that everything that we can do, you could let an android do. I mean, there are two things. It's first of all, the mind and the brain having the ability to make decisions and to have thoughts and so forth. And then on top of that, we also have built machines that actually can do something in the world. And let's assume that you can build robots. And engineering finds out how to do that. We could put artificial brains into them and let them control by these controllers. Then really everything that humans can do, you can let the robot do. That's the whole idea.
And I guess I have to ask, is this something to be hopeful about or fearful about? Or both?
Well, I mean, there's one other very interesting question to solve, and that is, in the long run, if you have a machine that has human level intelligence, we kind of also think that it's human level consciousness. And then what you're suddenly talking to is not a can opener or a coffee machine, it's another sentient being. And then you cannot just command it around. It actually has very, very deep ethical and moral implications. But at the same time, we all are humans ourselves, and we can actually negotiate pretty well that you do your job, I do my job, and it's not much of a problem. So ultimately, once we have intelligent machines, we pretty much have to have a negotiation about what they do, what we do, how we can profit from each other, how there's synergy and so forth.
Yeah, thinking of the scene in Stanley Kubrick's 2001 when Hal said, "No, I'm not going to open that pod door for you." So he was ahead of the human.
So I mean, Hal on top of everything actually got crazy. That's actually a very scary thought, I think. But at the same time, Hal is also not an evolved being. Hal is pretty much something that epitomizes code and design, right? There were programmers that at least that's how I interpreted the movie after all, right? Sure. But I think the way Kubrick envisioned this is that there are lots and lots of programmers that write a very, very complicated program that also has conflicting instructions. And that's why Hal goes crazy and sacrifices the crew for the benefit of the mission. And that's something that you and I wouldn't do. We would actually rationalize this entire situation and come up with much better solutions than having conflicting instructions. I mean, we are really good in dealing, first of all, with missing information, but also in estimating situations like, oh, does this thing make more sense than the other? And I think Hal was never programmed to make these types of decisions. So Hal not being involved in AI is pretty much the worst possible case of artificial intelligence you can imagine. And at the same time, I mean, if you think about intelligence made humans, and we are really good at agreeing with each other and sorting our problems, and we are pretty much also not scared of other humans. So why should we be scared of artificial intelligence that is evolved?
I would say some might argue that we're really good at agreeing with each other, but I think that gets into other kind of questions too.
Sure, but I mean, I think the thing is that generally we think this. And also, I mean, if you think about humans actually committing crimes or being in horrible situations or doing wars, then it's either due to hate or due to limited resources or to other very, very negative circumstances. We would not think that in a society where everything is healthy, everything is fine, we would necessarily have these conflicts.
Erin Hintz is a Michigan State University biologist and computer scientist working on ways of evolving our way to artificial intelligence. Thanks so much for sharing your work with us, Erin.
Great, thank you so much for having me.
So basically, like the fact that he brought the example of the computer continuing the mission as well, which is prepared to kill, so they can get so that the computer can get the mission done, is interesting because I think I've listened to Blake Seven as well, and I think Blake Seven does similar things. I was actually trying to find it to pull it up. Also, with the Alexa, people are saying, should people be scared of Alexas? You know, like Alexa's doing the ultimate thing without blowing up your house. But remember that how they're also trying to make houses that is so electronic. From when you enter the house, when you come into the house, you say lights. It's very sci-fi-ish. You know, Minority Report is one of my favorite movies. You know, that shows another level of how big electronics can be and be used as well. Because in Minority Report, if I remember rightly, there is a touch screen where Tom Cruise he finds where the potential, the potential crimes are as well. I mean, now we have got touch screens. So I will not say that most programs or movies are never far off from what's going on. So it's just, right, most things are given a slight predictions. So how he said it, I mean, I'm hoping you heard it. How he explained it is quite, he explained it really, really, really well as well. But I think he explained it better than me, because they're saying that how they're making the computer so that it can really outsmart the human in a kind of way, you know. So I know people's had problems with Siri as well, because Siri is the same as the Alexa. There's no difference. Siri is just an upgrade from the Alexa. So just like with most things, everything upgrades. The computer upgrades, the smartphone upgrades, face recognition, everything's computerized. Even this platform that I'm on now is computerized. So it's only when you say keywords, the computer picks out keywords of what you're saying. So that's how they're able to deal with the algorithm of things as well. So it's very interesting. I think this is an interesting thing. I don't know. I'm sure other people have looked at artificial intelligence. I probably have not explained it deeply, because when I was watching the program and they was coming out with certain things, i.e. where the Chinese government was going to make artificial intelligence so even if you're innocent, you most probably say that you're guilty, because, you know, computers have no feelings. They don't feel things, right? You know, they're just chips and mechanisms inside. And also, when people are so-called upgrading, like even on here, intros, stuff like that, upgraded, different ways of doing upgrades in different ways. Like this also puts me to the fact of that children's think it's a movie with the robots, where the upgraded robots was trying to get rid of the downgraded robots. So, you know, even in little cartoony things like that, there is little hints of certain things that is being said about the computers on a whole. Terminator was another good example, which they also brought up in one article, with the machines. Matrix, the machines again is mentioned again. So the machines in Matrix is the big one, because the Smiths are all viruses. You know, they're all viruses. And so to deal with the machines, they generate humans and then they feed off the humans. And it's like little things like that. That's to tell you how big this thing can go. I mean, like I said, there's certain things I might see in my lifetime, but in however centuries, because there's more centuries to go apart from 2021. Right, so this is only like the tip of the iceberg. So Microsoft, Google, Bing, I can't remember all of the servers offhand, but there is a lot of play out here. Well, not out here. A lot of play in the computer world, because they have to invest to upgrade. They have to invest to upgrade the phones. The phone company swaps over so you can get that data, or they merge together. You know, the phone literally outsmarts the human, because after a while, like when you're human and you're using things like phones, you don't really need to use your brain really on a whole, because there's predictive text. Also, I think it helps in corrections, which it was doing before. I also seen this in Black Mirror as well. You know, the computerized thing. There's so many movies I can refer to on certain things. So so the whole thing, what I'm trying to say is the reason why I chose this subject, artificial intelligence, because I feel that how even when you're on certain things, you notice a pattern, because I started noticing certain patterns. So when I saw that BBC program, right, that just really put it in perspective for me a little more. That's why I was able to at least look up some of the things. I know there's so much things in that, because that BBC program was like over, I think it's an hour long or less. So even though I took down some notes, but it still wasn't enough notes, because there's so much information in it. And so when they put out things like the iPhone, certain headphones where you don't even have to connect to your phone. You don't have to connect to stuff, the wireless stuff, you know. So you can imagine having, plus there's also that Hoover, there's a Hoover where you don't even need to Hoover, you just set the Hoover. It's like a small little thing. I don't know whether other people have this. And it does hoovers, and you program it, it hoovers. It does what it got to do. Another program which I also refers to is called Humans, where once again, it's artificial intelligence. It's a humanoid. Once again, comes in, helps the family and all that, but they want to be human. They want to be like the humans, you know. So there is a lot of, well, basically it's all around you. It's all around you, basically, you know, like the countless. You don't even need to put your pin in no more. You just tap. That's it. You can go into places like Sainsbury's, like you can use the little orangey thing. And then like you can, right, you don't even have to go to the checkout, right? So what I'm saying is that how, yeah, I just thought I'd take a look at this, because I just thought this is one of the things that is a revolutionizes the human species, because it can either kill or it can betterment for the human species as well. I don't even think I've even explained that right, but I hope you got the gist of it. But Sophia, for me, was very interesting because she answered the questions very well to the UN. She gave like, it's like an honest opinion. So, you know, in every case, yeah, AI can be helpful, but it can also not be helpful. It can also literally destroy a whole planet, you know, because everybody's relying on everything. Like everything is literally electronic. Everything's literally, you only think about it, it's electronic. From when you buy stuff off of Amazon, eBay, information's collected all the time. You're walking on the road, your information's collected. Yeah, you know, and I think that's all I want to say on it, really. I can't really expand because there's so much information on the AI. If I could pull it all up, I would pull it all up and show great examples of it, because there's a lot of examples of it, how it can go left and how it can benefit. So I think those articles, though they say a lot of stuff, but even on some articles, they can give and take a little bit. They will tell you what you want to hear, especially like if you're looking for certain information. They're not going to put all the information on Google. You know, Google will tell you what it wants you to know as well. So, but I'm not even going to not Google because I go to it for a lot of things. But there's other stuff. There's Safari. There's Bing. There's other search spaces. And as we know, Microsoft did start from Bill Gates. Initially, Bill Gates was the one who created Microsoft. So, I don't know. I think I've said enough, really. I don't think I need to go any further with it. I think however you take what I'm saying or whatever I put up is up to you. I just feel this is an important thing to talk about as well, because this is one of the things of the destruction of humanity. So it's not only what's going on right now, there's other destruction of humanity that's going on as well. There's so many ways this thing can go. So with that said, I'm going to come off. I'm not going to waffle on, hang and haw, whatever. And yeah, just have a good day, a good morning, a good afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Yeah, thank you. Bye.